Welcome in. This is Sarah Luna from the Luna Walk. Thank you so very much for being here. Today we're going to take a look at what are the late night thoughts about you. We have pile number 1, 2, 3 and 4. We're going to use oracle cards, tarot cards and astro dice. Here, this is the reading on YouTube. We're going to take a look at the current energy of the connection. Who is thinking about you? We're going to do this with these beautiful oracle cards. And then in the tarot bit, we're going to take a look at how do they see you currently, their unfiltered thoughts about you, and when do they think of you, what reminds them of you. And later on in the extended on Patreon, the link to the Patreon is in the description below. We're going to take a look at the nature of their thoughts towards you. How would they react to your honest thoughts of them? And their fantasies and desires. This might become a little NSFW, but not too much because that's just not my style. But if something comes up, I'm going to say it. So we have the reading here on YouTube and the extended on Patreon. Thank you so very much for being here. And now let's take a look at the crystals. I don't know how it's called. It has been gifted to me. But if you know how this crystal is called, feel free to post it in the comments. I would appreciate it greatly. This is pile number 1. For pile number 2, we have the rose quartz. For pile number 3, we have a piece of amethyst. And for pile number 4, we have the Labradorite. Take all the time you need in order to choose your reading. This is pile 1, 2, 3 and 4. And I'm going to get started with pile number 1. See you in your reading and thank you so very much for being here. Welcome in pile number 1. Thank you so very much for being here. We're going to put your crystal right here and then we're going to take a look at what are their late night thoughts about you. This is your oracle card from the Star Code Astro Oracle. And we're going to take a look at the current energy of the connection. This is your energy check about who is thinking about you. After the energy check, we're going to take a look at the tarot bit of the reading. If this sounds like your reading, then great. Welcome to pile number 1. And if it doesn't, feel back to go back and choose anew. There are no rules. There is no right or wrong. So let's take a look at the energy check of the connection. We have the number 23 with Jupiter and abundance. Beautiful card. We're going to read the card for the energy check. It's the number 23. So let's take a look. Jupiter symbolizes how we expand our world through education, law, philosophy, travel, abundance, and an expansive spirit. Jupiter, the traditional ruler of Sagittarius and Pisces, is a huge gas giant. So this has Sagittarius and Pisces and Jupiter energy with the number 23. The action that you are asked to take here is to think bigger. The challenge is Jupiter can bring too much of a good thing or leave people feeling overwhelmed. And the gift of the card is give and you shall receive. Jupiter calls you to expand your worldview, so reach out and feel at one with the whole universe. I'm going to hold this into the camera in case you want to take a screenshot of the whole description of the card. It's on pages 62 and 63 in case the numbers are significant to you. Take what resonates and leave the rest. Only let a reading give to you and not take from you. So with the Jupiter card, we're going to take a look now at who is thinking about you. What is the current energy of that connection? Additionally to Jupiter, we have the number 5, the number of change. We have Sagittarius again. So Sagittarius is coming out up twice. And we have Mercury energy here, which is all about communication. We have Sagittarius here, which is a very optimistic energy, but it's also an energy that is very often overwhelmed by all the things that Sagittarius wants to do in one day or in one lifetime. And then we have the number 5, which is the number of change. We also have 3 and 2 Jupiter cards. So this also is a number 5 card. 2 plus 3 is 5. So we have an energy about change. We have an energy about someone who has a lot and many of good ideas, an abundance of good ideas, an abundance of possible outcomes, an abundance of life paths is what I hear. The current energy of the connection is that you inspire each other to not settle for an either or, but to decide on an and. Instead of either or, you go and it's a bit like it. I see an improv class, and it's like one person gives an input, and the other person is like and continues the sentence, and then the person who started after the sentence is finished continues and goes and again, and it's kind of like never ending. And there is no shortage in creativity. And it feels like this is what life is like for you guys. It's like you don't fully know what it is you're doing. Life is like an improv class, but you're not shy to continue with and to just continue. Whatever comes up next, you feel comfortable with it. There is also a deep friendship that connects you guys. So the current energy of the connection is also rooted in friendship. This is someone who encourages you not to think small, someone who encourages you to think outside of the box. And if not outside of the box, then definitely to not put yourself in a box. It's kind of like this person would never ask you to squeeze yourself into a mold of society just in order to fit, you know? It feels a little bit like you're very used to having to squeeze yourself into certain molds and expectations that are imposed on you from others. And this person wouldn't do that or wouldn't condone that at all. This person is very comfortable with things being out there and things being innovative and new. It has like the energy not only of Sagittarius but also of Aquarius. It's kind of like an innovative energy, a thinker energy, an idealist energy. The person who is thinking about you is also someone that feels very intimate to you. It doesn't have to be a romantic intimacy. It can be a friendship intimacy, a family relationship intimacy, you know, someone who's known you ever since you were really little. That's also a kind of intimacy. If someone changed your nappies, for example, when you were small. So there is some intimacy there, but it doesn't have to be romantic, but it can be, if that resonates. This is someone who wants you to have an audience, someone who wants you to take up energy, someone who, when you walk into a room, wants people to look up and to notice you. This is someone who makes space for you, but more importantly, who wants you to make space for yourself and who wants you to take up space. This is a person who wants to see you abundant. This is a person who's very generous with you, and it's a person who themselves has a much more subtle style. They are not a loud dresser. They're not loud about themselves. They're not a braggy kind of person. They would brag about you and for you, you know, to benefit you, but they wouldn't brag about themselves. They are not a showy kind of person. They're the kind of person who would give things to Goodwill and who would donate things and who would then encourage you to get new things. That's the energy I'm getting here. So that is who is thinking about you. If that resonates, please feel free to stay for the reading. And if it doesn't resonate, please feel free to go back and choose a new. We are now going to go into the tarot bit of the reading. And we're going to use the Disney Villain Tarot, which is an interesting choice, I know. But the reading is called What Are the Late Night Thoughts About You? And I kind of felt like this could be, one could judge this question and completely take it out of context. And I feel like that a lot of Disney villains, if you take them out of the judgy context, probably aren't villains at all. So this kind of resonated to me in my mind. So we're going to take a look at how do they see you currently. For pile number 1, with the log-shaped crystal, where I still don't know how it's called, but I hope someone in the comments knows. Also, if you would like to see the full reading breakdown, there is a timestamp below where I show my notes and the full reading breakdown. How do they see you currently? How do they see you currently? So pile number 1. Ooh, we do have the 7 of Swords with Cinderella's shoe. We have the 4 of Coins. This looks like Captain Hook's treasure, but I'm not sure. We have the 3 of Wands. Hold on, one card fell down. There we go. We have the Moon, a major arcana in your reading, which means that this is a major theme to you right now. Sounds cheesy, but that's true. I just have to put the card deck somewhere. Okay, so how do they see you currently? How they see you currently is what we have here, with the 7 of Swords and the 4 of Coins. And the next question, with their unfiltered thoughts about you, is what I sense here with the Moon and the 3 of Wands. The cards do make a shadow, so I'm just going to pop them in here. Okay. So how do they see you currently? I don't only read the tarot cards, but also the fact which Disney villain story comes up. And here we have the Wicked Stepmother with Cinderella. Here we have Captain Hook. So I'm going to take that into consideration as well, just so you know. How they see you currently is they feel that you are, I don't mean this in a rude way, but they feel like you're kind of on the brink of giving up on your dreams. It's kind of like they sense that you've had enough. They sense that you've been waiting for rather a long time for things to come to fruition. And they feel like it's kind of getting on your last nerve, you know, like you're a little bit done with the situation and you're like, okay, I don't have energy for this anymore. They try to help as much as they can. And I also feel like when it comes to all that, there is something that they wish to tell you, but they haven't yet. And I wouldn't call that lying, or, you know, the 7 of Swords is very often depicting lying by omission. So it is that energy, but not as harsh. I just feel like that they think if they told you, they would hurt your feelings. So that there is something, like you're trying to make a change. You're very, very close to giving up on that because you don't see any results so far. And there is something that they're thinking but not saying because they don't want to discourage you. Maybe you send in a job application and they think you're not actually qualified, but they're not saying it because they're like, oh, well, let's see, like there's something that they're not saying because they fear it would discourage you. And that's the last thing that they want. But there is something that they're not saying. In order to protect you, not in order to, like it's in your best interest that they don't say what they think on this topic. They would also really love it if you could give up a little bit of control. This is the energy of someone who's clutching a little bit too tightly to how things are supposed to, or how they think how things are supposed to work and how things are supposed to play out. And it's kind of like when we clutch too tightly to our idea of outcomes, the universe can't really make it happen for us. Because we then stand in the way of the universe. The universe is trying to make things happen, and you stand in the road of that, and you're like, no, it's supposed to happen this way and not that way. So this blessing wants to come in for you, but it can't because you're like, oh no, thank you. It's going to come in another way. Thank you. Please go away. And this is how they see you currently, that they, not that you're giving up on options, but more like that you are blocking certain options because you're very, very intent on things happening a certain way. And this person, to say it very boldly, this person would just love for you to loosen up a little bit and to give up a little bit of those expectations and of that control. Like they would like to see that for you as a beneficial change for you and for the connection. And their unfiltered thoughts about you, I like that very much because we have the moon and the 3 of Wands. And that means that, and I mean this with love and kindness, they absolutely love your weirdness. When they see you, when they look at you, when they think of you, they get ready for the future. They're cooking this brew for the future and they're getting ready to make... Like when they think of the future, you are an inherent part of that. They would never think of their future and not include you. That doesn't make any sense to them. It's like cooking spaghetti without noodles. It doesn't make sense. It belongs together. So when they think of their future, they think of your future in plural. And they're like, look at that. Their stew is overflowing. Like they have so many ideas. And so many things that come up to mind that they would love to do with you. Could be traveling, could be new business adventures, but they are getting ready for the future. They have so many ideas, so many things that are coming up and that they would love to put into action. And it's not only dreams. They have like solid strategies in plan. Kind of like, yeah, well, I have this and we could kind of like maneuver it and change it and then we can do this with it. And they maybe haven't talked to you about that yet, but they actually, even if they don't want to admit it to themselves, they actually do have a solid strategy that would be possible to implement at any point. And they absolutely love your weirdness, your uniqueness, and the fact that you are just unapologetically yourself. This also makes me think of this reel of this small child that stops in the middle of the road and goes, oh, the moon, and stares at the sky. This is kind of your energy, and their energy is the person that holds that child, the child's hand and is like, yeah, sure, that's the moon. Are you excited? And even if they don't feel the excitement, they still share it through you. We have also the number 18 with the moon. Here we have 3, 7, and 4, just for confirmation. They like your wild and untamed energy. They like when you don't hold back. They like when you're being yourself. And that's why it's also so difficult for them when you're in this energy where you hold yourself back because you're clutching to certain expectations. Because your abilities lie beyond the ordinary, and if you box yourself in with expectations, then you cannot tap into that. So these are their unfiltered thoughts about you. And now let's take a look at, when do they think of you? What reminds them of you? This is like one question, because they think of you when they see something that reminds them of you, naturally. So we're going to take a look at that with the tea leaf oracle. There are a lot of cards, so when do they think of you? What reminds them of you? There we go. Okay. We have Bull. Do not back down from opposition. Show strength and fortitude. I feel like they think of you when people are being rude to them, because they know if you were there, that wouldn't fly. We have Basket with recognition, reward for merit. They think of you when they have been very successful with something, because they know that you would immediately praise them. We have Hammock with taking a vacation physically or mentally. They think of you when they are, in Swedish we say we say koppla av. That's like when you unplug, when you let go of everything. That's when they think of you, when they're like, I'm going to do a low screen, no screen weekend, or maybe I need some self-care, or maybe I should meditate or do yoga. You know, the second they decide on a vacation for the mind and body, even if only for a day or an hour, they think of you, because it reminds them of you, because you're the kind of person that reminds them to self-care actively, or just by, maybe you don't even have to actively remind them anymore, because you reminded them so often that they're like now automatically thinking of you when they self-care. Then we have Tower with solid foundation, success with effort. When they work hard towards something, they also think of you, because they know you believe in them, and that gives them strength. And then we have Wishbone, a wish is granted. Sometimes you know things before they happen, and that also makes them think of you. Like when they make a wish, it makes them think of you, because they're like, maybe this person, maybe I should talk to them, because they kind of know shit before it happens. That's what reminds them of you. That's when they think of you. In the extended of Patreon, we're also going to take a look at the nature of their thoughts towards you. How would they react to your honest thoughts of them and their fantasies and desires? So that's what we're going to take a look at on Patreon. Thank you so very much for being here. If your heart says yes, leave a like and a subscription, a comment. I really appreciate it. And if you do know what kind of crystal this crystal is, feel free to comment it below, because I'm not entirely sure. That's why I'm just going to write log crystal, because I don't know, because it was gifted to me. So thank you so very much for being here, and see you in the extended or in the next reading. Goodbye. Welcome in pile number 2, the Rose Quartz Heart pile, and thank you so very much for being here. This is the beautiful crystal that you chose, and I'm going to put it right here. We are going to take a look at the current energy of the connection first, with this beautiful oracle card from the Star Codes Astro Oracle. This is an energy check of who is thinking about you. If this feels like something where you're like, yeah, I know exactly who this person is, then feel free to stay for the rest of the reading. And if not, feel free to go back and choose anew. There is no right or wrong. I also would like to mention that the breakdown of the entire reading is in the timestamps below. So if you would like to get a full breakdown, all my notes on what this reading is going to be about, and you skipped it in the intro, a timestamp is in the comments below for you to go back to that. Otherwise, the reading might be a little bit confusing. So let's take a look at who is thinking about you, the current energy of the connection. We have the number 52 with trine, sextile, and symbiosis. Beautiful card. I'm going to put it here in the middle. Trine and sextile planets promote collaboration by backing one another up, cheering one another on, and adding strength and value to their roles. A trine is formed by two planets, 1/3 of the way around the circle from each other, 120 degrees apart. I wanted to say a third one on the way, so this could already be a message for someone. could be an animal that you're about to adopt, could be a human being, but I clearly heard a third one on the way. So this was interesting. This also gives me the energy of, for some of you, this is going to be a best friend. And for others of you, this is going to be a best friend who also happens to be your partner. But this is definite best friend and hyping each other up energy. I also would like to say that you speak... I wanted to say you speak the same love language, but I feel like they aren't necessarily the same, but they, how do you say? They work well with each other. We have this on pages 120 and 121. This could also be important for you. There might be a very slight age difference between the two of you, and one of you thinks it's insignificant and the other one is like, no, but I'm so old. That's also something I'm hearing, that it's actually insignificant, but one of you doesn't feel this way, or is kind of like jokingly putting themselves down, but only jokingly. What I also feel is, be careful, or not careful, I don't want this to be a cautionary tale, but being more gentle with how you speak with yourself. This is something that you constantly remind each other of. Okay, so action, what we have here is lean into what is easy and comfortable and use that comfort to renew, grow, and expand. This is definitely a connection where you're so comfortable that the strength you draw from each other, you can then use for whichever projects you would like to start next. You know, like this is a connection that makes you strong. This is a bestie who is cheerleading you through life. Could be a relationship, but really doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. This is a bestie who has your back no matter what. This is a bestie you can call when you feel depleted and afterwards you feel recharged, you know. Challenge, the path of least resistance can be both delightful and limiting. Don't get stuck in a comfortable rut. Yeah, I feel like this is a person who is going to be very, very honest with you. Like when you're like, oh, I don't know if I should try this in my life. I'm very comfortable here. This person is going to be like, you're not comfortable. You're settling for something that is so beneath you. I'm not talking about a person. I'm talking about the situation, okay? But it's kind of like they're giving you hard truths, but very easily digestible. Like they do this in a gentle way, in a way you can work with. And then gift, we have lift one another up and grow. And this is definitely what you and this person are doing. You're lifting each other up. You're growing together. You're helping each other grow. You're helping each other blossom and bloom and flourish. I definitely hear the word flourish. This might be significant to some of you. I also feel like this is SpongeBob Patrick energy. I feel like you're very similar, and then in other things you're very, very different, and it's completely fine. It's kind of like there are these reels of those two girls, and I don't know how they're called, or if this is just a trend, or if it's just one profile. I don't know, because I'm not on TikTok, but one of them is always dressed in bubblegum pink with very blonde hair, and the other one has pitch black hair and is always dressed in black and with silver chains, and the other one has like dainty golden necklaces. And this is kind of the vibe I'm getting here. Like on the outside they look so different, but their personalities or their souls, it just fits so very well. They always know what the other one is thinking. So even if it's in some aspects you're very different, like one of you might have a lot of tattoos and the other one is like, oh no, I'm very religious and I can't get them, you know. So even if there are those small things where you're like, yeah, we're very different when it comes to that, but we respect each other's decisions, you know, you're still kind of one on the same soul level. You're definitely from the same starseed family. You came here together and you found each other again, and you find comfort in the fact that the both of you are here, that you're not here alone, that you're here together. I'm going to hold this here in the camera. As I said, it's page 120 and 121, and it's a number 52, the card. So I'm going to hold it up here. You can screenshot it and read it for further confirmation. But if something doesn't resonate, don't let it take from you, only let it give to you. I'm going to put this to the side. This was the energy check. And if this resonates, then this is your bestie reading. And we're going to take a look at how do they see you currently. Everything you need to know about this reading, about which decks we're using, and the questions that are coming up, the questions that I'm answering and why I'm answering them, and the full reading breakdown. It's all in the intro, and I put timestamps in the comments below and in the description below. So if there's something where you're like, why is she asking this question now? This is why. There was a full reading breakdown, so feel free to watch it. Okay, so how do they see you currently? Let's take a look. How do they... Ooh, I love it. We have the 9 of Wands. Look at that. This is beautiful. I've always loved the evil queen in Snow White because I don't think that she's evil at all. You're both very successful in what you're doing. So successful in the same field that some people might have the idea of trying to pit you against each other, and if they would try that, it would fail spectacularly, because you will not be pitted against each other like Snow White and the stepmom. You would not let that happen to the both of you. You would go after the mirror and the huntsman together, maybe even team up with the huntsman and take the mirror down together. You will not be pitted against each other. You will not be puppeteered around, is what I hear. How they see you currently, they see you as a very strong individual. They see you as someone who always uses facts in an argument, someone who has a vast knowledge on so many things. Someone who doesn't compromise, but I mean this not in a way that you force your beliefs on others, but more in a way of you have your very clear boundaries and you don't compromise them. When someone just won't listen, then you walk away from the situation. Like, you have this inner knowing that you do not have to be in a situation if you don't want to be. And they love that about you, that you don't compromise your boundaries and your personal well-being. And they draw strength from the fact that you are this way, because this allows them to be unapologetically this way as well. It's kind of like anytime you guys question this about yourselves, you're like, oh yeah, this person is doing that too, and we got this. this human experience, we got this. You have the strength and courage to stand your ground. They see that this is how they see you currently, someone who has strength and courage, and someone who defends what they've built. Might be that's something that the both of you are into, like some sort of music or some sort of television program, or I don't know. Might be a little bit controversial, but that doesn't matter. You won't let other people tell you that you have bad taste. Like, you're into this and you're cool with it, you know? You're unapologetically yourself, and that's how they currently see you, and that's what they really, really admire about you. And they see you as strong. And I'm a bit careful with using the word unapologetic, because it's difficult for women to use this word, because it's very often, just like assertive is distorted into aggressive, unapologetic is very often distorted into egoistical and into it's distorted a lot. But I mean this in an undistorted way here, unapologetic. I just mean it in a way where you stand in your own energy and your own power. And they really appreciate that, and they see you like this, and they love you like this. So let's take a look at their unfiltered thoughts about you. What are their unfiltered... Oh, I love this. Do you want to be upright or in reverse? Okay, This card wants to be in reverse, and it is the World. I'm just showing it to you before I turn it around. There we go. But it wants to be in reverse. And we're going to do some more. They're unfiltered thoughts about you, please. Oh, wow. Then we have the Hermit. I find it very interesting that their unfiltered thoughts about you are 2 major arcanas. And Justice. We have 3 major arcanas in their unfiltered thoughts about you. So, you are a major theme on their mind. They think about you a lot. They're very often in an energy where they're like, what would do, you know? They're like, what would pile number 2 do? What would pile number 2 choose? Where would pile number 2 go? What would pile number 2 not do, you know? They draw strength from knowing that you two are so similar that when they feel anxious about a decision, asking themselves about what you would do is giving them strength and gives them a supportive feeling in situations where they need support. Really, really helps them. Their unfiltered thoughts about you is that sometimes there is an energy of delays in life. Like, you know, plans that we've made or things that we tried to manifest and they are not coming in the way they're supposed to, the way that we think they're supposed to, or they're not coming in for a really long time. So we start to question whether it was just wishful thinking and does manifestation even work? And, you know, anytime they have these doubts come up, and not only self-doubts is what I hear, because these are also doubts that are being projected onto them, so they're from other people as well. They think of you. We have Virgo and Earth energy, by the way, and we also have Libra, Air, and Leo energy happening here. Gives them strength in a situation of a delay or where something doesn't happen the way they thought it would happen and it's making them anxious. They think of you and it gives them balance and it gives them strength. It helps them to turn inward, to shut out distractions, you know, because turning inward also helps them with their anxious thoughts. So thinking of you helps them to be alone without being lonely, you know. They turn inward, they manage to withdraw for some perspective. They manage to draw on their own strength when they think of you. Their unfiltered thoughts of you are that you will know how to make these things quote unquote right. You will know if the outcomes will be just, and if not, then you know how to make them just. You will know how to bring harmony and balance to a situation. You will know how to guide them in this situation. You will know how to help them purge and detox. It's kind of like everything that helps them let go of whatever it is that is plaguing them. It could really be that maybe you are each other's sober sponsors or something like that. Or this is a mental health situation where the thought of you helps them deal with certain situations. Maybe they're not the kind of person who likes to leave their home that much, but with you, they can even travel countries, you know. Their unfiltered thoughts about you is that you are so strong and so courageous and that you always know what to do. And they probably wouldn't tell you that in these words because they don't want to overwhelm you, because maybe you're also someone who is easily overwhelmed. Or when I say easily, I don't mean this in any judgmental kind of way. It's just, it is what it is, and that's okay. But I feel like these unfiltered thoughts are not something, like they would maybe jokingly mention them, but they're not something that they would just throw at your face, because they would feel uncomfortable being like, oh yeah, you you're so courageous and strong and you got it all. It's kind of like they would feel silly just saying it that way. So they're holding back a lot with how excited they are to be your friend and how excited they are about you. And it's an honest friendship, definitely. But the extent of their fangirling or fanboying is something that they hold back a little bit. Also, I take note of what snacks I eat in between readings. And before this reading, I ate a bunch of green olives. And they were really salty, which I like sometimes. So I feel like this person maybe sometimes gets salty or likes to make jokes about salty people. Maybe you like to do that together. They definitely use the word salty a lot. And they have no time for... what I'm hearing is I have no time for stupid people. Like, this is something that they would literally say. They would be like, yeah, I have no time for that. They have been bullied enough in their lifetime. They have no time for that anymore. No time for salty people, for stupid people, and no time for making themselves small to fit into other people's agendas and expectations. What do they think of you? What reminds them of you? Thank you. One card. Let's see if we get more. What do they think of you? What reminds them of you? I am shoving the cards with my elbow because they nearly fell off the table when they fell out of the deck. Okay. So, what do they think of you? What reminds them of you? We have door. Opportunities are waiting for you. Anytime they tick off something off their success list, anytime they are closer to everything they've ever wanted in life, they're thinking of you. Because they want you to be a part of it and they want you to also have everything you've ever wanted. We have grapes with time to go out and have fun. Yeah, I feel like you are traveling together. You like to see the world together and you like to do things together that you don't normally do or that you don't normally have time for. So when it's time to go out and have fun, this is you time, and you plural, you know, when this is what reminds them of you. When they have a fun time, they're like, yeah, where is pile number 2 at? Because it reminds them of you. That's when they think of you, you know, when they're finally going to have a good time and let loose. Sorry, I need to take a drink. That's when they think of you. This makes them think of you. Then we have the grasshopper. Situations in the balance that require careful handling. That also makes them think of you. And I'm just going to let that one sit right there because I feel like this is a mental health thing again. And it's going to be different for everyone. And then we have rooster. An arrogant, boastful person you should not cross. This is literally what I said earlier. They don't have time for stupid people and bullies anymore. So anytime a blast from the past comes up, it reminds them of all the things you said to them, all the self-work that they know you did. And it's kind of like you are cheerleading each other on. So when those stupid people pipe up, they immediately think of you and they're like, yes, I've been talking to pile number 2 about this, and we know exactly how to handle situations like that. We know exactly how to answer to something like that or how to not answer to something like that. I would be triggered if I hadn't talked to pile number 2 about this previously. And so I know exactly what to say now, you know. These kind of situations remind them of you because you are the one who kind of cheerleaded and coached them with your friendship to be able to take care of situations like that in the future. You're in their corner. That's what I got for you, pile number 2. This is a beautiful friendship. I know that there is the term power couple, and that it's mostly used romantic, but I feel like you guys are a power couple, and it's a platonic friendship kind of thing, you know? Like, you are a power couple, but you are besties. This is the energy, and it's a beautiful symbiosis. This is the energy I'm getting from the two of you. We're going to take this to the extended in Patreon. The link is in the description and the comments below. Thank you so very much for being here. Please leave me a like, a comment, a subscription if your heart says yes. See you over on Patreon or in the next reading. Thank you so much for being here, pile number 2. Goodbye. Welcome in pile number 3. Thank you so very much for being here. You are the Amethyst pile, and I'm going to put your Amethyst right here. This is your energy check, your oracle card. We're going to take a look at the current energy of the connection to figure out who is thinking about you. If you would like to take a look at the full breakdown of the reading, which questions we're going through one after the other here on YouTube and on Patreon, feel free to check the timestamps below, because I did go through all the written down questions and what we're going to do in the intro. So let's take a look at who is thinking about you. Let's take this energy check of the current energy of the connection. We have the number 26. Here you can see it, 26, with Neptune and Vision. It's a beautiful card. I would also like to mention that Neptune energy came up a lot in the second reading. So if you felt drawn to the rose quartz heart in any shape or form, maybe this is a sign to check it out as well for further confirmation and for further messages, because there was a lot of Neptune energy in pile number 2. So let's do the Astro dice. We have the number 11. So if you see 1111 repeating frequently, this might also be a sign. Then we have Taurus energy. Oh, it's Taurus. Don't fall over. And then we have Neptune energy again. Neptune is your psychic sensitivity, your imagination, your dreams, your dream world. You're 5D, but the imaginative version of it. I love that you have Neptune twice. This is like further confirmation. I love it. And I'm going to put it right here. Now let's take a look at who is thinking about you. Like a cool blue pearl floating in an inky sea, this planet symbolizes how we float in the ocean of the collective conscious. Neptune, the modern ruler of Pisces, takes about 165 years to tour the zodiac. So 165 could be a significant number as well. And Neptune is on pages 68 and 69. Just felt I should mention that. On a practical level, it signals water, liquids, oils, and art supplies. On a challenging day, it shows how we avoid gritty reality, whether we escape through our imagination, addictions, or martyrdom. On a lovely day, Neptune speaks of spirituality, imagination, and psychic perception. The action: pray, meditate, intuit, use your divination, rest, and dream. The challenge is, if you hear my dog snoring, she's relaxing. So if you hear her, she's just sleeping. She's fine. The challenge is, Neptune overwhelm can turn acceptance into passivity, imagination into illusion, sensitivity and the hunger for spirit into addiction. Watch for water damage. Gift: allow yourself to float, to swim in that great ocean of the collective consciousness. Soak up the presence of divine soul. There is no separation between you and all sentient beings, between you and the realms of gods and spirits. It's on page 68, 69, and I'm going to hold it up into the camera just in case you would like to take a screenshot or to read it later. take what resonates and leave the rest. Don't let anything take from you, only let it give to you. So the person who is thinking about you, the person this reading is going to be about, is someone who urges you to slow down. But when I say urge, I mean more like they inspire you. Like you like to watch them, you like to be close to this person, and being close to that person inspires you to slow down or to take a nap, like my dog is doing right now. To enjoy the little things. This is someone who, for a brief second, I wanted to use the word coach. Someone who coaches you to allow yourself to float, to swim, to go within. So maybe this is someone who teaches yoga, or it's a Reiki healer, or someone who is into Reiki healing practices. Someone who is a tarot reader. It's like, it doesn't have to be something spiritual. It could also be that this person is a fitness coach, it doesn't have to be something spiritual, but I feel like this person is living by example, and this person is inspiring you to be more mindful of your body and mind and spirit, and to slow down when needed. This person helps you to focus, to clear your vision, and to focus on the things that matter to you. Sometimes our mind is really loud because there's a lot going on, and this person's mere presence helps you to hone in on certain things. You find this person is inspiring. They're very, very smart, very intelligent person. You learn from them, even if they're not a teacher actively, you learn from them. And I'm hearing everlasting student, because there is this saying, I'm completely misquoting Deepak Chopra here. It's completely like, you can only call it paraphrasing. It's not a quote, but if you paraphrase his Days of Abundance series, he says something along the lines of that we can only be truly awake when we realize that we are infinite learners. Like the second you say there's nothing for me to learn, then there's nothing for you to learn anymore, like there's always something to learn. We're infinite learners. Louise Hay, for example, spoke about this as well. She said that she started to take up classes at the age of 84. I forgot what kind of classes. I don't know what it was, but she learned something. Maybe art classes, maybe she started to draw, something like that. So we never stop learning, and I feel like this person made you realize that in a good way, because when we're young, we're kind of being taught, first you have to do this and then you have to do that. And it's like our career and our learning is presented to us like a ladder, like stepping stones, like stairs. And that gives the illusion that at some point there's an end to all of it, that at some point you're going to be master of everything and you're going to be on top of everything. But it's not stairs. It's not how it works. Like learning is infinite. You never stop, hopefully. And I feel like this person helped you clear your vision and helped you to see that, and also helped you to hone in on abilities that you have that you didn't dare to tap into because you thought you weren't perfect at it, so you didn't have a right to tap into it. But you don't have to be perfect to enjoy doing something. I also feel that if you have a tendency to feel easily overwhelmed, this is a person that has very sensitive antennas, and can sense it and knows how to help, or at least provides a safe space where you can help yourself. You've learned to take in your surroundings more carefully thanks to this person in your life, and they make you feel safe. I also feel that with this person in your corner, you don't have to know each other personally at that point of time, what that I'm talking about in a second, but I feel like they inspired you to go to places where you would normally go. And now that you know each other personally, maybe you tell them about it, and you're like, way back when I was, listening to a podcast, listening to a YouTube series or something like that, and it really inspired me to do this and that. And now you can finally tell that person, you know. That only applies for a few of you, but I wanted to mention it. What applies for all of you is that you find this person deeply inspiring, and this person totally has Queen of Cups energy. This person has this emotional knowledge and emotional wisdom that they bring to the people who are close to them, and that they bring to their day-to-day on a daily basis. And they simply understand. Sometimes you don't even have to finish your sentences. They know, they understand. You're totally vibing with this person. You should check out second reading, because I feel like one of those readings is going to be how it used to be, and the other one is going to be how you want it to be or how it is now. It's kind of like the lineage of your friendship, I feel. That's why Neptune comes up so much, because it connects reading number 2 and 3 for some of you. But this is the energy check for everyone. This resonates with this person. It can be romantic, a relationship, but it doesn't have to be. For some of you it will be, but for some of you it won't. But this is a person you find deeply inspiring. It is a person that helps you to slow down, to calm down, to hone in on your abilities and to believe in yourself. This is a person that makes you feel safe in your own space, and it's a person who makes space for you. It's a person who understands you and who appreciates you. That's what I have for you. This is your energy check. If that resonates, let's do your reading. And if it doesn't, no worries. You can always go back and choose a new. There is no right or wrong. We are going to be using the Disney villain deck, because I feel like most of them are very, very misunderstood. So I feel like this is the perfect deck for this reading. Late night thoughts are very often about overthinking. And I most definitely have been overthinking each and every one of the Disney villains. So let's take a look at how do they see you currently. Again, the full reading breakdown is in the intro, and I put a timestamp below. So let's take a look at how do they see you currently. For pile number 3, the Amethyst pile. Thank you. Do you want to be upright or in reverse? You want to be in reverse. Okay. We have the Ace of Coins, but it's in reverse. I just wanted to show it to you. Oh, this is very askew. Okay. How did they see our pile number 3 currently? Thank you. And we have the King of Swords. And then we have their unfiltered thoughts about you. What are their unfiltered thoughts about you? Thank you. We have the 9 of Coins. And then we have, what are their unfiltered thoughts about you? Thank you. And then we have the 9 of Swords. How do they see you currently? They see you as someone who is watching over them in one shape or form or another. This could be a different capacity for everyone who's listening, so this is very specific, but there is a form of you watching over them in some point. They see you as someone who is truly intelligent. They see you as a role model. They think you are very wise and that you are someone who seeks to be fair. A lot about this reading is going to be flip-flop because I feel like you think about each other in kind of the same way. It's like, well, one person is like, oh my gosh, you're so smart. The other person is like, oh no, you're my mentor. It's like there's a lot flip-flopped in this reading, so take as it resonates, but you have a very similar opinion of each other. And I feel like anytime they see you as someone who has so many possibilities and so much promise, but doesn't see it. It's like anytime you doubt yourself, please confide in this person because this person is going to cheerlead you on. Again, a lot of connections to pile number 2. This person wants you to enjoy life and to live life and to let good things come to you, because I feel like this person has this feeling that you have so much promise and there is so much that you could do with your life, but you are stopping yourself. I don't want to use harsh words like self-sabotage, but I feel like this person is wondering whether this is what it is. They're like, you have so much promise, you are so talented, and you don't even see it. And like I said in the beginning, this is a person who wants you to learn to hone in on your abilities, and this is what they do in your life. Like they inspire you to seek out the things that you truly want to do. So this is how they see you currently. They see you as someone who has a lot of promise, but doesn't fully tap into it. They see you as someone who is very intelligent, could be a role model to many. They see you as someone with very impressive problem-solving skills, and they think that your leadership is going to be needed in one shape or form or the other. Maybe in the career setting that you're in right now or in any other way. I don't know. That's different for all of you, but your leadership will be needed. And they think that you're the right person for that you're the right person for the job. This is how they're currently seeing someone with a lot of promise and holding themselves back. That's how they currently see you, and their unfiltered thoughts about you. Their unfiltered thoughts about you is that they think that what is holding you back is that you haven't yet gotten your sleep schedule under control. It's kind of like someone who's trying to not to get up at 5 p.m. anymore and go to sleep at 4 a.m. You know what I mean? It's like you're really trying to get that under control, and they feel like one of their unfiltered thoughts about you is that they think that you should get your sleeping schedule under control, because your sleeplessness leads to anxiety, and that's one of the many things that hold you back the most. And they also think that this impending feeling of doom and despair is based in the fact that your sleeping schedule is all over the place. I don't feel like they would say that to your face, that it would be like, hey, you need to get this checked out, you need to get this fixed, you need to get this under control. This is not the way that they would communicate with you, but it is on their mind. It is something that they think would help you, but they don't want to impose. They also feel that you are someone who manages money and time wisely, but one of their unfiltered thoughts about you is that you still need to learn how to treat yourself, and not this kind of anxiety shopping, but really treating yourself because you earned it. This person thinks that it's one of their unfiltered thoughts, so it's nothing that they would say to your face, but they think that you still have to learn to truly show up for yourself and treat yourself like the love of your life that you are, and that this is still something that you need to learn. I also would like to mention that in their unfiltered thoughts about you, we have two nines. We have number 9 cards, and in angel numbers, the number 9 is a number of completion, but not finality. It's a form of you finished something, but you still have so much promise, and there's still thousands of things that you could do. And that's what we talked about in the beginning with the Neptune card, that thanks to knowing this person, you learned that there is no finality to learning more, that you can complete certain things, but that there's no finality, and that you could always learn more and do more, and that having a career or learning something is not in fact stepping stones where you at some point will be at the top, because there is no top. You can always learn more. And so I think it's interesting that in their unfiltered thoughts about you, the number 9 comes up twice, because this is what they think of you. This is one of their unfiltered thoughts, that you could do anything and that you should never stop learning because you have so much potential. We're now going to take the tea leaf cards, because we want to know when they think of you and what reminds them of you. Because when we talk about when they think of you, it's kind of like, yeah, when they see this or when they see that or when this or that happens, it reminds them of you. That's when they think of you. So let's take a look at that. 1 card, 2 cards, 3 cards. Oh, it's already 4 cards. I didn't see. Okay, when do they think of you? We have young men with dealings or relationship with a younger man. And then, interestingly enough, we have younger women as well with dealings or relationships with a younger woman. So maybe you are a young man and a young woman, or you guys are identifying as a young man and a young woman. I'll just leave this here. However, what comes up is tiger, doing something risky, taking a chance. I feel like this is what reminds them of you. Whenever they do something that they would consider risky, or whenever they dare to take a chance, that's when they think of you, because you inspire them and also because they really want to tell you about it. Then we have frying pan, trouble and accusations. I feel in this reading a lot of unlearning and a lot of doing something that you enjoy to do, completely independent of what expectations people could have of you. So I feel like when people voice their unhappiness with that, with the fact that you unapologetically live your own life, how dare you, that's when you guys think of each other. Like, this is what reminds them of you. They're like, yeah, this is what I need to talk to pile number 3 about immediately. Like, this person just gave me so much hate and all I did was mind my own business. I need to talk to pile number 3 about this. So this is also something that makes them think of you. We are now going to take this in the extended. Thank you so very much for being here. I hope to see you over there. The link to the extended is in the description and also in the comments below. Thank you so very much for being here. Please leave me a like, a comment and a subscribe if your heart says yes. It's just 1 click for you and it means a lot to the channel, and hope to see you in the extended. Thank you for being here and goodbye. Welcome in pile number 4. Thank you so very much for being here. You are the Labradorite pile. This is your beautiful crystal, and we're going to put your crystal here. This here is your energy check. If you haven't watched the intro, you can find the full reading breakdown in the intro, and I put the timestamps in the description and in the comments below. It might help you to take a look at the full reading breakdown in order to understand the questions that we go through one after the other. If you don't want to, that's fine. Just letting you know if the reading confuses you, I did put the reading breakdown into this video. So let's take a look at the current energy of the connection. This is our oracle card energy check in order to find out who is thinking about you. We have the number 1 with Aries, and it says act. Beautiful card. We're going to put it here. So, number 1. Aries asks you to remember your personal fire, your reasons for being alive. It pumps up the volume on your life force. Its energy is raw, exhilarated, direct, rude, passionate, and looking for a challenge. Use your wisdom to focus this raw power and give it a goal. Aries is the cardinal fire sign, whose fresh, brash enthusiasm is symbolized by a headstrong ram. At action, we have begin, simply begin. Move into new territory, cut to the chase, be your own hero. With challenge, we have accidents increase when you are in a hurry. So it says that when you're rushing through a project or when you're impatient or distracted, that's when accidents increase. And then we have gift. And gift says Aries marks the beginning of spring in the northern hemisphere. After a long, dark winter, the dead landscape comes to life. Plants that were shorn of leaves or dormant are now breathing new life. This is on page 18 and 19 in case the numbers are significant to you. And I'm also going to hold it into the camera in case you would like to take a picture or screenshot it in order to read it all later on. But this is the current energy of the connection. The person who is thinking about you, who is constantly thinking about you, is someone who always wants to push for more. I don't know if they want you to always push for more, but they are a person who has trouble with being content with themselves, who has trouble with being confident in themselves, which they mask with being busy, which they mask with complaining about others a lot, which they mask with talking about others, but not in a gossipy way, more in a caring about others kind of way. Like, instead of talking about their problems, they will encourage you to talk about yours, and they will genuinely be there for you, but also because it distracts them from their problems that they really don't want to be talking about. Kind of like a person who is the therapist of the friend group, the self-pronounced therapist of the friend group, but they're the ones with the real problems, you know. It's kind of like they will listen to you, and the tragedy that your hairdresser gave you the wrong hairstyle, and they will be the only one that understands, and you will feel very comfortable around them and talking to them about anything. What you don't know is that they just went through a life-saving surgery, you know, like they have actual problems, and they listen to everybody's little tidbits of dramas, and they genuinely listen and they genuinely care, but also because it distracts them from what they are going through, and what they're going through is major. Let me also roll the astro dice for this. We have the number 5, which is the number of change. We have Cancer energy, which is not surprising because they are a very loving person. They have very loving energy, very caring energy, this could also signify that this is a family member, but it doesn't have to be. It can also just be a friend or a friend that you see as family. But Cancer is all about a happy home life and about trust and about being there for each other. And then we have Neptune energy, which we also had in pile number 2 and 3, in case you want to check them out as well. They also had Neptune energy. In pile number 1, we had Saturn energy, I think. Neptune is all about your sensitivity, your imagination, your dream world, but also a psychic sensitivity. Someone who has Neptune energy can be very psychically sensitive, and if they grow up in a place and time where there is no space for that, where nobody holds space for people like that. Sorry, my dog is snoring. She's dreaming very, very well. If they grew up in an environment where nobody held space for that, it can morph into depression or into a problem when it comes to self-acceptance and self-love. It can morph into and twist into many non-beneficial things if people are being gaslit out of their psychic sensitivities from a very early age on. So I think that this person possibly doesn't even know how psychic they are. What they know is that they have a very healing energy, and everyone around them knows that, and they're always there for everyone. But they themselves are hurting deeply, and they might know, they might not know, but this is definitely someone that deals with depression and anxiety on the down low. Nobody knows. Some people might suspect, but it's not like they actively told anyone. They're the kind of person who are like, I don't need help, I just need to push through. And it's kind of like they've been doing that the whole life. That's the energy I'm getting here. And the energy of the connection is that they are that for you. They're the person who always listens. But when you want to listen to them, it might frustrate you a little bit because they will not share about themselves. They just want to show up for you, and they can't stop thinking about you because they just want the best for you. They have a lot of love for many, many people that are in their life. They simply cannot muster the same amount of care and love for themselves. So if this resonates for this person that is on your mind, we're going to keep on going with the reading. And if it doesn't, feel free to go back and choose anew. There is no right or wrong. You can always go back and choose anew. There are no rules, only what feels right. So let's take a look at how do they see you currently. Again, the full reading breakdown is in the intro. So how do they see you currently? Let's take a look at that. We're using the Disney Villain Tarot deck. Because when I wrote down the details of the reading, I heard in my head, everybody's the villain in someone's story. And I thought, this is interesting. I'm going to use this deck. So how do they see you currently? How do they see you currently? Okay, they have a lot of conflicting feelings. Because when I shuffle the deck, the cards, they fight each other and then shuffle themselves back in. I feel like this person has a very overactive mind that is it's conflicting itself a lot, because I always pay attention to how the cards shuffle. And this person is someone who grew up having anxiety and maybe even ADHD, but it was never diagnosed. They grew up maybe in a time or in a place or in a setting where those things couldn't be diagnosed. It's kind of like the people who are like, in my day we didn't have autism, and it's like, yeah, you're just undiagnosed, you know. And this is kind of the energy. This person is definitely someone who hasn't been diagnosed. This is nothing good or nothing bad. It's just something that I feel in their mind, like something that's going on in their mind doesn't make sense to them, or doesn't make sense to others, or it's difficult for them to communicate it because they have no words for it, because the way they grew up, or the bubble in which they grew up, there was no word for it. There, I had to say that before. So, how do they see you currently? Do you want to be upright or in reverse? Okay, this card wants to be upright, and this card wants to be in reverse. Okay, we have the Six of Swords. And we have the Seven of Swords, but in reverse. And the Six of Swords is in the upright. So, before we read the cards themselves, I definitely want to mention some channeling again. We have 6 and then we have 7, but the 7 is in reverse. It's kind of like this person was holding on to a very clear path in life, a succession that they wanted to have in their life. Like one thing has to happen after the other. It's kind of like this: I get my bachelor's degree, then I get my master's degree, then I get my PhD. Or it's kind of like this: I meet a person, and then we get engaged, and then we get married, and then we move into a house, and then we have children. You know, it's kind of like successions that feel like success, because this is how it's been marketed to us, and they wanted to follow a succession like that, and they did all the necessary steps, and then something still didn't happen because there were too many obstacles in their ways, and they still suffer from that. They also, if they have children, they don't have to be human children, but if they have children of any kind, they have a very strict aura and energy about them, but not because they're rude, but because they care, and they care a lot, and they're not fully capable of communicating how much they care. Either they never learned it, or it has something to do with them being neurodivergent in one way or form or the other. So they don't know how to communicate it in a way that the people they are addressing would understand. They had to make many painful and difficult choices in their lives. And how they see you currently is that they feel that the same applies to you. They see many connections between the both of you. And they realize that you have been in many rough waters just like them. And when they think about that, their emotions fight them because it's like they wanted to keep that all away from you, but they couldn't, and it still happened to you. And they want you to take care of yourself, and they want you to never stop to walk forward into the unknown because they know you can do anything. And even if they don't understand your path, they want you to still walk it. They also think that right now in your life, because the question was, how do they see you currently? And currently, right now in your life, they see that there's a turning point. It's kind of like you had it really rough for some time, but they currently see this turning point in your life where you have the opportunity to make positive changes and to start new after whatever happened. And I feel like that this whatever that happened could have been a toxic connection to another person, could have been a toxic relationship, could be that you were recently divorced or recently split, and then you had to build anew from scratch with the Cinderella shoe that is upside down. There is something toxic that happened relationship wise, and you managed to break free, and they're really proud of you for being able to do that and for being able to start new. And they're now watching you start new and build a new life, and they're really proud. They're like, oh my gosh, they stood up again because kind of like they never wanted you to fall in the first place. They wanted this for many of you, this is a parent or a parental figure. They never wanted you to fall or to stumble in the first place, but seeing you get up again and again and again is really like, they're very impressed. And you always act, you never stop. And how they see you currently is someone who managed to successfully maneuver this turning point, and they're very proud. Let's take a look at their unfiltered thoughts about you. They're definitely a very unfiltered person in general. Like I don't feel like they make a very big difference between having an unfiltered conversation and just having a conversation with you. Could be that some people would call it harsh or rude. Could also be a cultural thing that where they live, people would call it rude, but where they grew up, people wouldn't call it rude. So this could also be a cultural thing. But they're very, very straightforward. So for most of the readings that I did so far, like for the first 3 piles, I felt like there was a real difference between the thoughts and the unfiltered thoughts. I'm predicting here, before I even shuffle, that the unfiltered thoughts are not going to be that different from the rest of the reading, because they're always kind of unfiltered. Not unhinged, but unfiltered. So what are their unfiltered thoughts about you? Thank you. Can I get one more? Thank you so much. Do you want to be in the upright or in the reverse? Okay, this card wants to be upright. And you? This card wants to be reverse. Okay, we have 2 major arcanas. We have the Sun in the upright. This is definitely how they see you. Maybe you're a Cancer or Scorpio. You don't have to be. Can also be Leo with Sun energy. Again, you don't have to be. Just take what resonates and leave the rest. And then we have the Death card, but in reverse. The unfiltered thoughts about you. First thing that comes up with the Death card is a song from the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, the Mother Maiden Crone. They definitely see a lot of crone energy in you. You are a person who immediately cuts ties to toxic people. You're a person who drops people if they violate your boundaries, because you have been through so much and you have tolerated so much. You're in this energy of no more. And they see that about you, and they might critique it, or maybe they have critiqued it in the past, but they're actually really impressed that you're capable of doing that, that you are not scared of being alone, that you are just, and we have Scorpio energy here as well, by the way, the way that you just move on, and that you're just like, okay, this is the end of the cycle, I'm going to the new beginning, and that you can always start anew and always stand up again, and that you can always transform into the next part of your life. Like the fact that letting go is just something you do, and I'm not saying it's easy to you, but you do it, and that your rebirth of the new you follows shortly after, no matter how difficult you do it. They're like, they see you. I feel like some of you were not sure if this person even sees you, but they see you, and they see you embrace life, and they really appreciate your optimism and vitality. And I also hear that they have no idea where you get it from. But they mean it in a nice way, in a kind way, because they've been struggling with depression so much. And yeah, the first thing I hear is they have no idea where you get it from. Like, you don't stop on glowing, and you have a very bright light. And a lot of people tried to paint you as a villain. Maybe there's some gaslighting in your family or something like that. Like, it's just like Hades. Hades isn't a villain. He's just guarding the underworld, and when you die, you go to there. That's not a bad place. It's not Christian mythology. It's not hell. He's painted, and also by Disney, as a villain, which he actually isn't. And I find this very interesting. It's kind of like they see that you've been painted the villain a lot, and maybe you don't know, but they know that you're not. I feel like they have in the past taken the side of the person who painted you a villain, but they're like, you weren't actually, and they see that. And even if they aren't in a place where they dare to question the person who gaslit you, they are secretly on your side. Like, they see your side, and they see you keep on keeping on, and they're so proud. But I feel like you already had some very unfiltered conversations with them, where they were like, you can't just drop people, and you were very calm about it, and you were like, yes, I can. And you thought that their reaction was shock, or I mean, it was shock, but you thought that it was like a disapproving kind of shock, but they were actually in awe. And I feel like that's a misunderstanding that I really wanted to mention here. You've always been this really bright light, even as a child. And over time, you've been painted the villain over and over. Might be that you have embodied that role over some time, because that's just easier. But you're back to shining brightly, and they see that, and they're so impressed. Let's take a look at, when do they think of you? Like, what reminds them of you? Pile number 4, the Labradorite pile. When do they think of you? What reminds them of you? The tea leaf deck is so much. Like, when do they think of you? What reminds them of you? Okay. When do they think of you? Thank you. There is another part of the tea leaf deck. I couldn't shuffle it all at once. When do they think of you? What reminds them of you? Okay. So, my dog is still snoring. The card that came up is happiness. And this goes here with the sun. I mean, look at your little face. There we go. What reminds them of you is happiness. I feel like happiness is a very rare currency in their life. And when they experience happiness, it makes them think of you. Because watching you grow up, they've seen a lot of happiness in you, and they also have also seen a lot of happiness being squashed inside of you. And if they have ever been a part of that, they feel sorry for that. But whenever they feel happy, they do think, in fact, of you. We have December. For some of you, this could mean, Christmas time, winter solstice time is like family time for many people, not for all of you. Maybe for some of you, this is like a New Year. Not everyone celebrates the New Year in December, but a lot of people do. So maybe this is New Year's celebrations, winter solstice celebrations, whatever this is. In December, there is something that really reminds them of you. Could also be snow and ice, depending in which hemisphere you live. Maybe they loved making snowmans with you. But December and happiness, these are seasons and phases that remind them of you. Then we have coins. Money will be coming to you. Hustling is the first thing that comes up here, is what reminds them of you, because they see that you are also someone who doesn't give up and who keeps on keeping on. So that reminds them of you. And then we have handshake. A meeting with a stranger could be important. And I'm just going to leave it right here for you to interpret as you will. Thank you so very much for letting me do this reading for you. I appreciate you. And we're going to go deeper into this in the extended. For those who leave us here, thank you for letting me read for you. Please leave me a like, a comment, and a subscribe if you feel like doing so. If your heart says yes, it's just one click for you, and it means the world to me. And for everyone else, see you in the extended. I'm excited to dig deeper into this family connection here, this person that can't stop thinking about you. I really feel for most of you, this is a parental figure or a family member. And the late night thoughts about you are filled with love, but also with a lot of regret, because they beat themselves down a lot. They wish they could have done better, but they couldn't. And they have a lot of love for you and a lot of appreciation and wonder, and they appreciate the person you've become. Thank you so very much for letting me do this reading for you. I appreciate you, and see you in the extended. Bye.